I call to order the meeting of the City Commission of the City of Mount Pleasant. Right? Commissioners, let's stand for a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please take a roll call.
Oh, we forgot the land.
You gotta do the
land.
Okay,
Oh, the agenda.
I skipped. All right. The Mount Pleasant City Commission recognizes the Anishinaabe, whose ancestral lands the city stands upon today. We acknowledge the Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribe and recognize that the three bands of Ojibwe, Saginaw, Black River, and Swan Creek have resided on this land for over 200 years. Our acknowledgement of the full history of the tribe and our commitment to be good stewards of these ancestral lands is an expression of gratitude and appreciation to those ancestors who came before us. We give thanks to the generous care with which the Anishinaabe and those members of the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe of Michigan have given and continue to give to this land and our community. Miigwech. Mark, please call the roll.
Commissioner Alsager,
Here.
Commissioner Demarath,
Here.
Commissioner Perschebacker,
Here.
Commissioner Rollins,
Here.
Commissioner Skalitsky,
Here.
Vice Mayor Eke.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. We do have a new commissioner and we will swear the commissioner in.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I
that I, Hannah Demarath,
will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the state of Michigan,
the state of Michigan,
and the charter of the city of Mount Pleasant,
and the charter of the city of Mount Pleasant,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of city commissioner
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of city commissioner
on behalf of all the citizens of the city
on behalf of all the citizens of the city
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and now welcome to the City Commission.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Proclamations and presentation. Manager Dissents.
Sure thing. We have a presentation this evening from Katie Mora of the Middle Michigan Development Corporation, who's the president there on the MMDC's 2025 annual report.
Thank you. While Luke is handing out our end of year report for 2025, I just want to apologize. I am a little under the weather, and so hopefully my voice stays with me throughout tonight's presentation. What Luke is handing out is a form of reporting that I think for some of you who've been on the City Commission for a while have seen in the past, where we share some of our metrics. And I wanted to bring that back as we launch into 2026 to highlight some of the key ways that we've been able to support not only Isabella, Clare, and Osceola County as a whole, but also to show how the city of Mount Pleasant specifically fits within some of those metrics that we are reporting. So right at the very top of your report, you'll see both a column for city of Mount Pleasant and then our overall metrics. Company visits, company assists, our capital investments, and community grant funding are all located right there on that dashboard. And as you take a look at that, I want you all to know that this last year had a lot of challenges. We had not only a start of the year that was very unexpected with the passing of my predecessor, but also the uncertainty of the economy last year and many of the headwinds that we saw both at the state level and the federal level made last year a very interesting year for us as a local economic development group. But I'm proud to say that in terms of our visits to companies, our visits to companies were higher than they were the year before, hitting 200 overall. That's the highest that we've hit as an organization. And in the city alone, we had 84 visits and engagements with companies and businesses of all sizes. We were also able to continue to provide a variety of assists and supports. That's everything from maybe making a referral to Michigan Works or the Small Business Development Center, or sitting down with a business and helping them to fill out a grant application or city paperwork, but trying to make sure we are available to our businesses to help with those types of processes. And so this is a metric that we use to try to showcase some of that work that we do. We also saw that from the companies that we were able to visit, we had a record year of capital investments across our entire 3 counties. We saw just under $58 million of capital investments, about 12 million, a little over 12 million, almost 12.5 within the city of Mount Pleasant. And that's specifically from companies that we work with. When we go and meet with them and do a retention visit, we're asking them, what are the number of employees that they have? What are the investments that they're making? So that might be an expansion of their building. It might be a new building that they're putting up. It may also be that they're investing in equipment, but that's what that number reflects. And then lastly, community grant funding. For this year, for 2025, we saw a direct dollar amount of investment of just over 1.3 million, and then overall about 5.3 million for 2025. And on the back side of this sheet that we handed out, we have called out specifically some of those grants that are for the city of Mount Pleasant. That overall column also includes not only direct grants that might be going to some of the other communities that we work with, but also things like our child care grant, which we received $1.6 million for, that will cover 9 different counties. And so city of Mount Pleasant, there are benefits there for the city, but that is included in kind of that overall look as more of a secondary grant that we would see some benefit from. So again, in terms of metrics, this I think is really helpful when we do put together our annual report that will share stories and highlights from the year. You'll be able to see what things look like overall, but also with this, hopefully see how specifically we've been working within the city of Mount Pleasant. As always, I am incredibly grateful for your continued support and investment in Middle Michigan. This year, not only did we have some great metrics to report, but some great stories as well. And I want to take some time to share just a few of those with you all. We have been working with Mount Pleasant and CMU and the CMURC for many years on the Smart Zone. And this last year, when I jumped into the president role, I was really hoping that we would be able to make some movement happen there. We have been working with CMU and CMURC, working on an infrastructure committee, and to date, we've been able to assist with some additional funding that really helped us to reduce some of the red tape that we have had on that property for quite some time. For that particular part of land, we have had to go to the CMU trustees. There's a very long, like 20-step process in which somebody who's developing would have to go to develop there. And as you all know, that sometimes can make it very difficult for projects to happen. And so over this last year with the infrastructure committee, we were able to reduce some of those barriers, getting approval for President McKinnon to be able to sign off on a lease, so it doesn't have to go through all of those different steps. The Plant Moran study that we were able to have done really allowed us to highlight those steps that were being required. And that visual really helped to tell the story so that we could make some moves and make some things happen there. Over this last year in 2025, we've worked with a couple of different interested parties looking at the Smart Zone as a place to call home. We are continuing to work with those interested parties and working through some financial planning at this point in time, in hopes that we'll be able to have a project that we can bring forward and share and talk about. We additionally are continuing to host Match on Main. Once again in 2026, we'll have another program kicking off in March. In 2025, we were able to receive $22,756.91 on behalf of the Mount Pleasant School of Dance. And so through that, they will be able to make a new offering available at their studio, doing I believe it's called a black box studio, and I apologize because I'm not a dancer, and so I'm hoping I'm getting that correct. But it will allow for them to have an additional way to bring in some revenue, but also add something really unique to our community that we don't have. So really excited to continue to see that program launch in our area and hopefully have some additional businesses that receive those funding. We've also taken over hosting of the merchant meetings for downtown. And so we've been hosting those at the Middle Michigan office. Luke Castle, who's our director of place-based initiatives, he's been overseeing those. And we have had some really great successes through that program. We have had our participation increase from about 11 merchants to 19 at our last meeting in January. It has consistently gone up as we've hosted those. And in those meetings, we have the city. Phil is often at those meetings with us. And we have some of our partners as well, the CVB, the Small Business Development Center, just to name a few. And through that process, we're really excited that our businesses have come up with ideas, have become very engaged. We have some surveys that we've pulled together from those who've attended that we'll hopefully be able to share with Aaron and then with all of you as we move into 2026. But the feedback has been really positive in terms of bringing businesses together and then really just looking for ways for us all to work even more closely, which I'm really happy to say that we're a community that has been doing that for a long time, but this has just been another way for us to kind of jump into that. And then for Luke and his role, it allows him to directly identify businesses who may not have wanted to set up a one-on-one with him, didn't know what Middle Michigan was or who Luke was. If they attend that meeting, it's a really great way for him to connect afterward as well. And so we've been seeing some great follow-up as that has continued to move forward. So we're excited to continue to do that. The chamber is also a participant in those meetings. And again, just lots of great conversation and ideas for what to come in downtown for this year and beyond. We also received a Trusted Connector grant from the MEDC last year, and that has allowed for us to hire on Emma Menez. Between Emma and Luke, their initiative has been to really increase the number of place-based businesses that they're visiting. That would be a business that is within a downtown, on a main street corridor, but businesses that we all know have a really important role to play within our community and often need some additional supports. And so they go and stop in and they check in and they see who they need to connect that business with, what resources they need, and make sure that we're able to do that work on their behalf. And so since we received this grant, we've been able to double the number of place-based businesses that we've made in 2025 alone. We also launched a technology grant and received 59 applications through that program, 19 of which were from businesses in the city, 17 were approved from the city. And we had a rubric that scored those because we, again, had 59 applications come in and had $40,000 to be able to distribute. But many were within the city, and that was up to $1,000 to support a technology grant, a technology improvement for the business, responsive to something we hear often from our small businesses in particular. And then we also have a facade improvement program that we received funding for last year through that initiative. We are kicking that off here on February 1st. Applications will be due February 17th. We will be able to provide up to $5,000 in matching funds to building owners in need of exterior and interior repairs. The information for that is on our website now. So if you know businesses that would be interested in that, they do need to be within a downtown district or in a DDA. But that would be a great program for them to look at, especially for some of those interior renovations. Sometimes that isn't always covered through other types of programs. And again, having done Match on Main for as long as we have, that is something we often hear from our businesses that they would find useful. So February 1st is when that will open, but the information is already on our website. And then we hosted Coming Home, once again, a great event that brings in talent from CMU and area colleges and universities and connects them with area businesses. We also launched our After Central program, which we received funding for. That program allowed us to provide $1,500 to individuals who met the criteria of getting a job within and living within a 15-mile radius of the Mount Pleasant area. And then there were some wraparound supports there as well. So added some value to that overall package. Emphasize that program. We're currently emphasizing that program. We've had 3 individuals approved and enrolled, but have room up to 10, and that goes through graduation of this year. We also were really fortunate to get selected as one of the 10 organizations in the state to host a community growth fellow. We're working with the Office of Labor and Economic Opportunity to participate in their community growth program. And through that, Brooke Hovenkamp, who's here with me this evening as well, she is going to be at the Middle Michigan office for about 15 months. She has an extensive background in municipal roles, and so we're really excited about some of the work that she'll be doing. More to come on that, but we're hopeful that it will allow us to create a playbook that really sets up our area for success, not just today, but tomorrow and long into the future as well. We also have been selected to host an elected pay ambassador. So this particular individual, she will be working across all of Prosperity Region 5. There are 8 counties in that region. And she's going to be working with municipalities, nonprofits, schools, with churches, individuals, and nonprofit organizations that may have done renewable energy projects, but maybe need some assistance with the elective pay program to ensure that there isn't any money being left on the table across our area. And we also received a childcare grant and have kicked off that work at the end of 2025. Caroline Roberts on my team, our Director of Education and Talent, is currently finalizing those who were selected through that grant process, connecting with them, making sure we have everything we need from them to start getting stipends out the door. Again, hopefully to help increase the number of childcare slots that we have across the 8 counties of Prosperity Region 5 and Osceola County as well. And then we were also selected for a USDA grant to work with retail strategies. This is a grant that will allow us to do some site work with retail. And so that's not something on the commercial retail side, that's not something that we've necessarily done a whole lot with. Typically, we've been more focused on industrial and with downtowns and locally owned businesses. This was an opportunity where we could partner with retail strategies to look at what sort of commercial retail might make sense in our communities, and then they will work with us to help do some matchmaking along that way as well. We're the first place in the state, the first organization in the state to do this program, which is really exciting. And then lastly, just a couple more things. We did do a crowdfunding program to support the 3 businesses in downtown Mount Pleasant that were impacted by a fire. Really proud of my team for pulling together an opportunity for people to be able to support those businesses. We were able to raise $3,700 to go towards the businesses that were impacted and affected. And lastly, we continue to partner with the city of Mount Pleasant on all things economic development related, but we've been doing a lot of work in the space of housing. And so continuing to have those conversations, trying to come up with and look for very creative ways to expand our toolbox so that hopefully we can assist the city in any way possible as the local economic development group that's here. And so with that, I am happy to take any questions that anybody might have. Yes.
I just have one. In the past, when we got a report like this, it was more the whole picture and it wasn't divided out. So I appreciate that you have some of the divided out, categories just for Mount Pleasant. Thank you.
Any more questions? Commissioner?
I
Armstrong?
just want to say that your mentor, Jim, did an excellent job.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Well, thank you very much. This was comprehensive.
Thank you.
Thanks. Right. Okay. Do we have additions or deletions to the agenda? No? Okay, all right. So I would appreciate a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion.
Need
Back to the
a-
agenda.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All right, motion moved by Commissioner Skalitsky, seconded by Commissioner Alsager to approve the agenda as presented, sorry. Okay, public input on agenda items.
We did not
We
vote
didn't
on that.
vote on it.
What was that?
We had to
After we
vote
have a
on it.
motion, we have to vote.
Oh. Okay, you realize that I am, this is not my regular position, right? Thank you, commissioners, for guiding me. I do appreciate this. All right, we do need to vote on the agenda as presented. All right, so all in favor of approving the agenda as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any objections? All right, so we have unanimous votes aye to approve the agenda as presented. Okay, so now we're going to public input on agenda items. Anybody in the public who wants to speak? You have 5 minutes to say your bit. All right, here we are. We do have somebody coming forward. Please state your name, your address, and then address us. How does this work?
Hello, Commissioners. Congratulations to the new Commissioner. My name is John Zhang. I live at 623 Hopkins. At the last meeting, there was some discussions about the city manager's contract. There wasn't anything in this packet, so it's hard to say what it's about, but you'll decide tonight about the pay for the city manager. At the last meeting, the numbers I heard would pay the city manager more than Michigan's governor. It would put his salary higher than Ohio and Wisconsin's governor, more than the city manager of Lansing. If you took even 1 or 2 minutes, you could look up what the average city manager in Michigan gets paid and find out that there could be a problem. I don't know the numbers you got. It was probably given to you. And it probably includes bigger cities and cities that are suburbs of the Detroit area. I don't know since it's not in the packet. I would encourage you to do research independent to find out if the pay is right. But the pay is your decision. The main issue I'm concerned about was the contract. The discussion I heard at the last contract was to take away the right to terminate if you, the commission, feel the city manager is doing a bad job or if he is doing things that hurt the city. From what I heard at the last meeting, the manager could stop showing up for work, come to meetings intoxicated, or any one of 1,000 things that no employer would stand for and that you should not stand for. You make the determination whether it's time to keep the city manager or not. The penalty is if you did do those things would cost the city $360,000. It's a proposal I heard, $360,000. There was even some discussion to compromise and make it only $250,000. The city commission, you, should maintain the absolute authority to determine if the city manager is doing his job the way you feel it should be done. You should maintain the right to hire and fire. Your decision should not be impaired by exorbitant financial penalties to the city. I suggest you hire an independent advisor, someone not associated with the city, to explain what things in the contract mean, whether it hurts the city or not. Thank you. But I also like to talk to my fellow residents. Watch, fellow residents, watch and remember how the commission votes. When you see the pay and the contract language they approve, you will know that if they're looking out for the city or if they are subservient to the manager's interests. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Is there somebody on Zoom? Okay. All right. Okay. Please go ahead.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Ashley Petrash, and I live at 114 North Lansing Street. And I just want to echo concerns of the last person who was speaking and think time should be spent on considering the contract set forth in regards to the city manager. That's all.
Thank you. Any other persons? All right. So we will close public input on agenda items. Manager dissents, we move to receipt of petitions and communications, please.
Receipt of petitions and communications this evening includes motor vehicle, bicyclist, and motor vehicle pedestrian accident data for 2025, fourth quarter investment report, report on city prescription medication collection program, report on police-related activity for 2025 in comparison to 2024, notice from Chippewa Township Planning Commission regarding the updating of its existing master plan, minutes of the Airport Joint Operations Management Board from December 2025, and Culture and Recreation Commission January 21, 2026 meeting agenda, as well as October 2025 and November 2025 minutes.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, go ahead.
The last one that you read, the minutes from various months with the Culture and Recreational Commission. For the October minutes, they had some officer elections and the chair was named, the vice chair was named. Then there was a third person that was elected 4-0, but no name and no office. And that was number 2 in the that agenda. And number 5 says they have not yet been approved because they weren't posted. So perhaps they could fix that error.
I will pass along the word. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks.
Any additional comments? Skilitsky, go ahead.
I do have some questions regarding item 5 on the petitions and communications. Regarding the police-related activity for last year in comparison to 2024, one number in particular jumped out to me, and that was the uptick in obstruction of justice citations charges is nearly 20%. With my math, that breaks down to roughly 2% of Mount Pleasant population would be equivalent to being charged with obstruction of justice. Is there any insight that you can share with us on that, Director Loria? No.
It comes in many forms. You can't think singularly. You have to think broad. So when you don't show up for court, well, that would be contempt of court, but obstruction of justice can come in many forms and for many reasons. So without looking into the specifics of every case.
Okay, that's fair.
Thank you. I actually had a question about that, but now that you've provided us with some broad definition. I'm wondering what constitutes, obstruction of justice. Yeah, okay. Does anybody have a question? I have one. Any additional questions? Okay. I have a question for Director Loria, item number 4, report on city prescription medication collection program. Okay. I think I know how that works, but could you just clarify
Yeah.
what that is? And
Yes, so any unused prescriptions that people have, we don't want them going into our wastewater system or the garbage. And so we have a collection bin container in the front lobby of the police department. The lobby's always open. There's adequate supplies with little plastic bags and whatnot that you can place your unused or no longer needed prescriptions in there. And then including sharps, there's outside the police department, there's a bin for sharps as well. And then we empty it and we take it over to Dow. And they let us use their incinerator. And it's really kind of neat because we have to get rid of all the packaging and whatnot, but you can put in 20 buckets of 5-gallon buckets of pills and stuff. And when it's all said and done, it's a pile of ash that's about a cup.
okay.
It's really neat, but it doesn't go in our water system. It doesn't go in our trash and our landfills. And it's a responsible way to take care of that stuff.
Thank you, Director Laurie. I appreciate that. When you say sharps, you're talking about needles, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just for clarity.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. And the container that you have in front of your building is not vulnerable to people, anybody going in there and picking up things and walking
No,
away?
we've never had any incidences
Okay.
like that.
All right, thank you. Just again, for clarity,
Yep.
I know it. I'm just trying to make sure that, we're clear. Thank you very much for doing this.
You're welcome.
All right, okay, moving on. Manager decides consent items, please.
Absolutely. Consent items this evening includes approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held January 12, 2026, approval of the minutes from the closed session held January 12, 2026. Consider approval of resolutions number 1 and number 2 for Special Assessment District number 1-26 for the Principal Shopping District as presented, and set a public hearing for February 9, 2026. Consider approval of the purchase of 2 DJI Matrice drones with additional batteries from Skyflight Robotics located in Saginaw, Michigan, in the total amount of $28,488. Consider approval of authorizations and resolutions for changes in the standard lighting contract with Consumers Energy for reinstalling streetlights on Pickard for MDOT road reconstruction. Consider approval of resolution to authorize MDOT contract number 25-5601 and authorizing the city manager to sign the agreement so that MDOT can proceed with the project letting and grant distribution. Consider renewal of the Michigan Municipal Services Agreement extension for 5 years for 1414 West Broomfield. Consider setting a public hearing for February 9, 2026 to allow for public input and to consider the amendment of section 110.28B regarding the operation of transitory food service units and the issuance of permits, licenses, and approvals for transitory food service units, and approval of payrolls and warrants.
Thank you. Does anybody have questions? Comments on any of the items? Okay, all right. We need I would appreciate a motion to accept the consent items as presented.
I move we accept it as presented.
I second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Alsager, seconded by Commissioner
Wins.
Rollins. I know. All right, all in favor of accepting the consent items as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Objections? Hearing none, the consent items have been approved as presented. Okay. All right, we are now at public hearings. We don't have any public hearing, right? New business items. Yes, managers dissents, please.
Absolutely. So our first new business item this evening is consider resolution to authorize the issuance of up to $30 million of revenue bonds for the water plant improvement project. We do have our Director of Public Works, Jason Moore, who is here today. He's just going to kind of go over some of the components of this Phase 2 project. City Commission is asked to approve the attached resolution for the authorization of issuance of up to $30 million in revenue bonds. With that, I'll turn it over to Director Moore to talk more about the project.
Director Moore, please.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
I'm going to give you a pretty short presentation about our Phase 2 DWSRF project at the water plant. So feel free to ask questions at the end. This is very similar to our Phase 1, which is under construction right now. As far as how it proceeds, the state approved us for $27.9 million for the project. 6.4 of that will be in principal forgiveness. It's funded through the Michigan Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. I've got a slide up here that shows they've distributed $9.8 billion in loans thus far. And those are also low interest loans, so it's quite advantageous to take advantage of those. So the Phase 2 elements, Phase 1 was all about inside the plant. We're redoing the filters, we're rehabbing the recarb tank, the aerator. These things were built in the mid-90s, and we're replacing all that. Phase 2 is going to address some aging infrastructure at our island property. We're going to improve reliability by elevating electrical gear above the 100-year floodplain on that property, eliminate outdated and inefficient structures. We've got some ground storage out there that we're going to be moving to the plant property. This is a picture of our what we call the island facility. You've got the Chippewa River kind of surrounds this. In the upper right-hand corner there, that white squarish building, that's the Ranny Well. That was put in the early 60s. That large white circle, that's the 2 million storage tank. That was put in early 70s. And then the black tank to the right of that is that's the 1 million ground storage. And that was built along with the Ranny in the early 60s. So the Ranny Well, that's a big part of this project, is to rehab that Ranny Well. It's where we get a lot of we get much higher quality water from that well. It's the nameplate on it says it's the first river recharge well in Michigan, built in 1963. Since it is recharged from the river, the water is a lot softer. We don't have to deal with the iron in that's in the deeper wells that we have. So we'll get new 60 horsepower motors. There's 3 of those. We'll get a diesel generator that will run that in case of loss of power. And then we're looking at lateral, those fingers that come out of the bottom of that caisson. We're looking at rehabbing those, or possibly even adding laterals. We're gonna, actually, that was approved with the engineering, and they will be hopefully working on that in the next several weeks. They'll be sending cameras down those laterals and taking a look at the screens and seeing what kind of condition they're in, and doing some testing to see what sort of production we get out of those existing laterals. We will be demolishing those old tanks, moving the high service pump, which was on top of that black tank. We'll be moving that up to the water plant. So we'll get rid of the 1 million, the 2 million, and the high service pump building. And then we're going to place those at the plant. We'll also have a new raw water storage, which we don't currently have. That will give us the ability to store up Rainy Well water overnight. We don't run 24/7. Well, we run 2 shifts in the summer lately because our Rainy Well is not giving us as much water as it has in the past. We get to a point where we're running almost 24/7 for a few days out of the year. This past year wasn't too bad, but the year before that, we had some guys putting in a lot of overtime. So that raw water storage, that's 1 million gallon. There'll be 3 30 horsepower pumps on that. That'll just pump it uphill to the water plant, so that then we can treat that water. Of course, that'll come with new electrical and new controls, as well as a 24-inch raw water line going to the water treatment plant. The finished water upgrade, so the tanks that'll be at the water plant, they're not super sexy or anything, but they're big concrete tanks, pre-stressed concrete. We'll have 2 1.5 million gallon finished water, kind of right next to the plant, and then a little bit down the hill from it, we'll have the 1 million raw water. With that, we'll get a new high service pump station. That'll take 4 vertical turbine pumps, 125 horsepower each. That'll also have new electrical and 250 kilowatt generators. That'll be capable of running 2 of those motors on the high service station. And then we'll also have a little bit over a couple thousand feet of 24-inch transmission mains that will be installed to get water to and from these different storage facilities. Oops. That's kind of the rundown, basic rundown of the project. So I didn't know if anyone has any questions.
Any questions? Commissioner Altsega, please.
Well, I know it's needed and I plan to vote for it, but this is more the financial aspect of it. That's a lot of money we're borrowing, and I hear it's going to come onto our water bills.
Yes, water bills have ramped up a little in anticipation of this. And so our finance director is working on figuring out just exactly what that'll be. But yes, it will be. It'll have to be covered by fees. At least half of this project, well, I'd say a quarter to a half was already in our CIP. We were already going to do these projects. We were just going to kind of do it piecemeal as we could fund that in the 6 years. Probably 3/4 of it would have been in the next 10 to 15 years anyway. And then this way, we're getting it with low interest loan. And so the prices, they don't ever get better, as you move through time. And so that's a good thing. We also get the benefit of the resilience that is offered by these improvements through increased capacity and increased efficiency of the pumps and all these things. So I really think that combined with the principal forgiveness, this is a real good thing for the city.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions, comments?
With the upgrade of the new transmission lines, what are some of the oldest service lines that we're going to have in distribution for the rest of the city?
If you're looking for the age of the mains, the oldest mains in the city? Yeah, some of those are quite old. We've got some cast iron, large diameter, that's still in good shape. We, over the last I think we finished it up basically about 5 years ago, but for the 2 decades before that, we had replaced all the 4-inch cast iron mains, which were the oldest mains in town, and the most prone to failure. And so that was a really good program. It's a good thing that we had my predecessors had the forethought to have that program going, and the prior commissions were willing to make that investment because it saved us a lot of water main breaks, at our current time. But there are still plenty of old mains out there, and we are currently sort of focused on replacing the old valves. The mains themselves are not in too bad a shape, is what we find. But a lot of the valves, they don't hold up quite so well. And so sometimes it's hard to shut down certain areas of the city if we do have to do that. So that's one of our big focuses in the distribution system right now. So I don't know, that was kind of rambling answer, but I don't know if that answered your question.
I think it did for the most part of the information I was getting at. Because I know here in our, when we were looking at how to petition for the allocation of the 2% from the tribe, we were looking at seismographing the water lines for the most part, but that did not make it. Are we looking at other ways that we can test those to make sure that they're up to snuff? And
we actually do have that in the budget, even though we didn't get funding through 2%. We are going to do a sample of the one of the primary concerns with that is the AC mains, the larger diameter AC mains that are pretty critical to the system. I'll be interested to see what we get as results out of that. So
likewise, one other question: who owns the majority of the property right there at that island facility? Is that all the cities?
No, that's actually in the township. We own the property, but the surrounding property is all in the township.
I'm just curious if we can get more signage right there where the Chippewa comes in, because if you make a right instead of a left while you're floating, it is really hard to get back onto the river.
We have heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a culvert there that's not really a good.
A little bit of spray paint is usually what it is, and that's usually up about April, May, somewhere along there. Somebody pulling a fresh coat.
Yep, I will remind the guys.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you. It sounds like it's a conversation between Director Moore and Director Biscorner. Okay.
And one last thing, I just wanted to say that with this approval tonight, you're authorizing the potential issuance of bonds, but you will have an opportunity to approve the bids when they come in, and that's expected to be in July. So
Okay. All right. Thank you.
and we do have the bond attorney online in case you have any questions about the bonding itself.
Okay. Does anybody have questions about the bonds? All right. Well, it looks like this is important, maybe even urgent, so we want to make sure that we don't end up like, the crisis in Flint. Yes, Commissioner Alsager?
I'm going to make the motion.
Yes, please go ahead.
This is the resolution to purchase, acquire, and construct improvements to the water supply system and to publish a notice of intent to issue revenue bonds.
I need a second.
I would second that.
All right. Motion has been made to accept the resolution presented to us. Motion made by Commissioner Alsager, seconded by Commissioner Skalitsky. All in favor of do we need or a collective vote? Is it a roll call or? Okay. All right. All in favor of accepting the resolution as presented, please signify by saying aye. Aye. In your position? Objections? Hearing none, the resolution has been accepted unanimously. Okay. All right. So now we get to item 19. Appointment of city officials to applicable city boards and commissions. Okay, this appears at the end of our document. I was there before, now I'm not there. Second.
I find it on page 93.
Yeah, I was there earlier, but I was following Director Moore, so I missed where I was again. All right, thank you for that. Okay, appointment of city officials to applicable city boards and commissions. Here are the recommendations. Building Authority Finance Director Lauren Pavlovsky. Okay. 911 Central Dispatch Governing Board, Fire Chief Doug Lopsinger and Police Captain Brandon Bliss as alternate. Isabella County Material Recovery Facility Governing Board, Public Works Director Jason Moore. MML Legislative Coordinator, City Manager Aaron Descents. Mid-Michigan Area Cable and Telecommunications Consortium Board Communications Coordinator Madison Craven. Middle Michigan Development Corporation City Manager Aaron Descents. All right. There's no vote, no objections. Sorry, I can't help you there. Mount Pleasant City Commission 2026 Committee Assignments. Appointments Committee meets.
My apologies. We do need a vote for those.
Do we need a vote to accept? Okay. All right. I need a motion to accept the appointment of city officials to applicable city boards and commissions as presented.
So moved.
Commissioner Pashbaker moves.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Alsager seconded. All in favor of accepting the appointments, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Oppositions? Okay, hearing none. The appointments have been accepted and recorded as presented. Mount Pleasant City Commission 2026 Committee Assignments. Appointment Committee meets as needed, 3 people. Boomer Weingart as chair, the mayor, Grace Rollins and Ryan Skilitsky. Charter Committee meets as needed, 3 people. Boomer Weingart, mayor as chair, Grace Rollins and Ryan Skilitsky. Council of Governments meets 3rd Wednesday at 7 p.m. Boomer Weingart. I think it says Weingart, right? So, Intergovernmental Liaison meets as needed, Boomer Wingard, Mayor, and Maureen AK, Vice Mayor. International Relations Sister City Council meets monthly, Maureen AK, and Mary Alsager as alternate. Mount Pleasant Area Diversity Council meeting schedule is unknown. Hannah Damarath, you probably have to contact them. I'll give you the names of people to talk to. Okay. Property Committee meets as needed. Maureen AK as chair, Grace Rollins and Mary Alsager. In addition, City Commission seats are available on the following boards and commissions. Audit Committee meets once in March and early May. Amy Parrish-Baker, Maureen AK, Grace Rollins as alternate. City CMU Student Liaison Committee meets 4th Tuesday of the month at 5:15 p.m. Amy Parrish-Baker, Mary Alsager. Economic Development Corporation and Brownfields Redevelopment Authority meets as needed. Amy Parrish-Baker and Mary Alsager. Principal Shopping District Board meets monthly at City Hall. Amy Parrish-Baker. Tax Increment Finance Authority meets the 4th Monday of the month at 8:30 a.m. at City Hall. Ryan Skilitsky. You need to wake up at 5:30 a.m. All right. These are the appointments. Need a motion to accept the appointments as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rollins moves, seconded by Commissioner Skilitsky. All in favor of accepting the appointments as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any objection? Any refusal? You can't refuse, sorry. Hearing none, the appointments have been accepted as presented. Okay. Thank you, commissioners, for your willingness to serve. All right, so we are on item 22, I believe. All right. Consider reappointment of Kadi Mora to the Chippewa River District Library. Okay.
My apologies.
Manager dissents, please.
So I did speak with Katie Moore, who is interested in continuing to serve on the Chippewa River District Library. So we are asking the City Commission approve her for another 4-year term.
Okay. All right.
I move we approve Katie Moore for the library board.
All right, Commissioner Alsager moves. I need a
Second.
second, seconded by Commissioner Rawlings. Any discussion? Does anybody know anything additionally besides what we have on the information packet? Manager dissents, please go ahead.
Was there any further information needed? My apologies.
I don't know, I'm just asking.
Yep, no, we just had confirmed with
Just
Katie that
confirm.
she was still interested.
All right, that's good, excellent. All right, we need a vote. Let's vote to approve the reappointment of Katie Mora to the Chippewa River District Library.
I would like to move we approve her second term.
We already did the
Already-
motion.
We're just gonna vote.
Check a motion. now.
Yeah, motion. All right, let's vote. Are we voting? Yes? Okay, all in favor of reappointing Katie Mora to the Chippewa River District Library, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Objection? Okay, hearing none. Katie Mora has been reappointed to the Chippewa River District Library. And we say thanks to Katie for continuing to serve. Okay. Okay. And we are at item 23, discussion on employment agreement for city manager. Okay. Okay. You have the packets in front of you, you have the documents in front of you. All right, at our last meeting, we had some conversation about the city manager's salary. And I think we did not arrive at any conclusive positions. You have a document in front of you with the percentages and associated amounts. And I do recall that Commissioner Alsager was the person who said, 4 to 7%, somewhere in between there. So we've been given the percentages and as I said, the associated amounts. And I do think we have to have a conversation so that we can, come to some decision. Okay. All right. We're opening this up for conversation then. I'd like us to just stay with the salary first. I'm trying to separate the two items so that we just simply deal with the salary and then we come back to talk about the issue of the severance and pay.
Now, historically, whenever my union comes to the bargaining table to negotiate salaries, we do it over a period of time. So rather than just doing it every year, it is a period of 2, 3, or 4 years. There was something that was mentioned by Commissioner Alsager during last meeting about having it take effect 7% over 3 years or something along those lines to get to the amount that Manager Dissents had been proposing. I would like to entertain conversation within those realms so that way, here next year, the year after, assuming that the manager has been doing a good job, that it is something that we don't have to put back on our table every year.
Okay. Conversations, yes.
Yeah, I think we do have to do it annually though.
The review, yes.
Mhm.
And the
And the
contract.
contract,
And the
the
contract.
salary.
No, no.
I don't recall anything that says, the salary annually,
Okay.
but I think the annual review has to do with the performance,
Mhm.
We have been presented with options, okay? Do we want to do, set, a time frame, 2 years, 3 years, with a certain percentage, or stay with what we're doing right now, which is every year we come back and review the manager's, performance and, review, the, salary. I would like some conversation.
I like looking at it as an annual. I think in that regard, you are able to look at what's happening
Mhm.
and reflect on performance and other, I guess, potential issues. But I like that rather than setting something in stone for the next so many years.
Okay. Commissioner Rawlings?
I would be honest, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around 180,000. That, in comparison with other municipalities that have a larger workload and a larger responsibility in comparison, I'm really having a hard time wrapping my head around this figure,
Okay.
especially because we are getting pretty close to contract negotiations with the public safety folks and the unions, and that has been very contentious, over 2 to 3% increases in their pay and benefits. And we're, in contrast, we're looking at this broader increase. I think we really need to have that discussion over this final salary cap or salary.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree.
Okay. All Sega?
Um, I think I could give a specific number. If we go with a 6% increase and then we continue that over the next 3 years, in essence, we're coming close to that 20%. But it takes 3 years to get there.
Okay. Hirsch Becker?
I think that what Commissioner Alsager has proposed is a reasonable level. I think that there are city managers that have comparable sizes cities and engages in as much or equal to workload as our city manager that pay more than what we do.
But do we have the tax base? Is this sustainable? I mean, at the end of the day, can we keep sustaining this level of salary, even though the workload is maybe comparable to other municipalities that are larger, that can easily afford to pay that rate of salary?
No, I'm looking at municipalities that are the same size, that are comparable, that are comparable to Mount Pleasant.
Okay.
Well, I was looking at Marquette, and their salary is lower. They have a comparable size of population.
Mhm.
They have a university as its base, much like we do.
Mhm.
And yet their city manager, it's at least 20,000 less than what we're currently paying our city manager. I'm going by basically similar population, similar
Mhm.
demographics.
Yeah.
Okay. Skillet,
So,
sorry, go ahead.
so I'm just saying, and I'm not saying that we are going to devalue what he does. He does a fine job. I mean, we've evaluated him this past marking period as doing a fine job. But I think it's just the sustainability, compounding the salary over 3 or 4 years when we are still haggling with the unions over, 2 to 3%, pay and benefit increase. I mean, how can we justify haggling with them and yet give the city manager much more? I mean, if we want to talk about income disparity and cost of living and times are hard, I think we really need to be conscientious about how we compensate our employees.
Okay. Skilitsky, do you have something else to add? I would like to go back to the percentages because right now, what I'm hearing is we are looking at percentages. We're also looking at number of years and, so whether, are we agreeing to look at this in terms of a set number of years, or are we going to look at it annually? I'd like.
I think we should look at this annually.
Okay. Let's just clarify that first because otherwise it becomes too confusing. All right. So far, as far as I know, the histories of all the managers that I know so far, it's been annually. All right. So and it seems to have worked. And I appreciate Commissioner Demeral's comments about looking at this, coming back to this annually, just because we don't know what obtains each year. We don't know what our economy our finances would look like. We don't know, regardless of who the city manager is. The issue is, we don't know what's, obtains the,
We can't predict the
we can't
future.
predict, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a goddess, but I can't do that, right? So, but anyway, so that said, so the practice, or at least the practice so far, is to come back each year, do the review, and then talk about the salary. That seems to have worked. Okay. Is there anybody here who seriously, vigorously objects to doing that? Okay, so let's set that then. So we'll resolve that. It seems to me, I'm not going to ask for a vote on this, but I just need some signification. So nobody here seems to object keeping what has been the practice so far, which is looking at this annually. All right, so that's resolved. Now let's look at the salaries then in terms of the percentages, because that's what we discussed last time. Let's look at this in terms of the percentages. We have 4%, we have 5%, we have 6%, 7%, and 7%. Okay.
Two of us have already mentioned 6% at this end of the dais.
Okay, all right. Two of you, Parrish Baker and Alsega are saying 6%. All right. Okay. What I'm hearing from Commissioner Rawlings seems to be in the opposite direction from what you're saying. 6% is too high.
I'm saying 4.
You're saying 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that as well.
You have 4 also. Skilitsky.
When I was looking at the median income for city managers for Michigan, what I saw was around $150,000 to $160,000 annually. I feel like Mount Pleasant has some unique challenges with the 3 different large entities that work inside of our city limits, between the city itself, the college, and the tribe. Not only that, but we do have a lot of struggles that we have being a one of the poorer districts in Michigan. Onboarding, in my experience, and no matter what industry I've worked on, has been one of the greatest downfalls of any business. Being able to improperly onboard new staff. Is it gonna break the bank for Mount Pleasant if we raise his salary $7,000 or $8,880? I don't think so. Will it break Mount Pleasant if we find inadequate replacement, if we lose somebody who the commission has agreed did a pretty good job last year with 4.68 for an overall score? So I feel I am with Commissioners Allsager and Perschbacher with the 6%.
Okay. I can go to 5.
Well, I mean, that is why we're having this conversation, so that we can come to some kind of agreement. We
Right.
may not necessarily, 6% seems too high. I'm looking at, as faculty at CMU, I know we didn't get 4%. We didn't get 6%. Okay, so yeah, or at least, but for me, that's not even the issue. I'm thinking in terms of financial base. What do we have? Where is the money going to come from? In this case, it would mean general funds, because I certainly grants won't fund this, right? So it's going to have to come out of general funds. What sustains general funds for us? We don't have the financial, yeah. What sustains your here? This is important. So what sustains general funds? What funds general funds?
The general fund comes significantly from the village dollars for the taxes.
Okay.
As well as some other pieces related to some services we have and licensing and things to that extent.
Okay, and so the salary comes from general funds. So in effect, and that's how I'm thinking about this. Okay, so in effect, it would be, the home taxes. And much of general funds is, sustained by property taxes or business taxes. Is that what I'm hearing from you? Okay, so property taxes, what I'm hearing from people is, well, I know because I also pay taxes. Property taxes in Mount Pleasant, too high.
The
Okay,
property tax has not been raised in 10 years.
So
I understand that people are upset about the property tax, but what it is it's the assessment value of their home raises their property tax.
I again, I'm just saying to you,
I know.
what I'm hearing. You have heard that, possibly, but that's what I'm hearing. I am not. I am simply reporting objectively what I'm hearing, and I'm working through that in terms of laying some, at least, framework for discussing this, salary increase. 7% seems to be high because nobody's going there right now, so it's out of the question. So we're sitting between 6% and 4%. Okay, there is wiggle room. We can all settle on at 4% or go to 6%. It seems to me, there's the possibility of compromise. And if we're saying property taxes sustain, whether property taxes have gone up or not gone up, people are saying that property taxes are, sort of too high for Mount Pleasant. That's, I want to convince them that that's not the case. But the reality is that what funds the fund out of which this salary is coming would be the millage and the property taxes. So here is consideration. Let's think about that, okay?
Can I suggest that you give a number that you're comfortable with and we can see if we need to compromise?
Yeah, I am I started with 4 and, somewhere I might just go up to 5 and I don't want to go beyond that. Seriously, I started at 4. That's where I was. because I'm looking at other, conversations. Yes, go.
I suggest we compromise at 5%.
I like the sounds of that personally. We have 3 at 4 and 3 at 6, and that seems like a happy medium to me.
I can live with 5.
You can live with 5?
I can live with 5.
What about you, Demarath?
I'm not, well, the new person here. I'm more comfortable with 4. I guess if 5 is where people sit, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I would not be comfortable with any.
Okay. Well,
That's fair.
it seems, are you Pershbecker?
I am still with 6.
Okay, so, well, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us have compromised and said, 5. I have kind of gone to 5. 1, because I know manager dissent does good work. I'm acknowledging that, and we have acknowledged that consistently. But the reality that faces us is the fact that this community doesn't have a very huge fiscal base, okay, from which it is going to draw all of this money in terms of salary, okay, for the manager. Okay, if we go much higher, I don't think, I want to be fair. I'm thinking in terms of fairness. I'm also thinking, yes, I think I said this, in the past, I want to be fair. I want to be fair because if we're also going to look at other staff salary negotiations, we want to be fair. And I think, and I want to be fair, but I also want to honor the integrity and, the dignity of, the manager. So it seems to me that 5 of us have agreed on 5%, and I'm gonna just, we don't need a vote on this, do we?
You do.
We do need a vote.
City Commission should definitely vote on whatever the proposal is to
Okay,
increase the
yeah,
manager's
well,
budget.
I suspected, but I just needed clarity. All right, okay. So, does anybody still want to have additional conversation on the 5%? Otherwise, I would like to entertain a vote.
I'll say it again. I move we give a 5% increase to manager's dissents.
Second.
Okay. So Commissioner Alsega has moved that we give 5% increase to manager dissents over a period. Can we add 1 year? All right. Okay, just to clarify that, because we want to make, it's public document and we want it on record that it is a 1 year salary increase of 5%, seconded by Commissioner Rawlings. Okay, so now, yes, Skalitsky?
Can I clarify that this is a raise that will be reevaluated next year?
Would you like
Not,
to
it is a
modify?
1-year raise?
I think that's implied.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's-
so the way that it
Yeah.
was worded in the motion, it sounded a little off to me.
Okay, all
So-
right. Commissioner Alsega, could you please restate your motion to also address the time frame?
Sure. So I move that we give manager dissents a 5% increase for this year.
Second.
Okay, all right. The motion is that we give manager dissents a 5% salary increase for this year. Motion made by Commissioner Alsega, seconded by Commissioner Rawlings. Okay, so we'll take a roll call.
Commissioner Skalitsky,
Yes?
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Alsager,
Yes.
Commissioner Demarath,
Yes.
Commissioner Perschelbacher,
No.
Vice Mayor Eke.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Okay, the motion has passed. Okay. So the next issue that we need to address then is the time frame for the severance pay and dismissal in the case of dismissal without cause. All right, currently that time frame as set in the manager's contract is 6 months. In our discussion, several of us indicated that the manager in his counter proposal stated 24 months. In our discussion on the January 12th meeting, we looked at least we indicated the range between 8 and 18 months. Okay, so we need to have a conversation about this. All right.
Commissioner Ecker.
Yes, sorry.
I'd like,
Commissioner Althega, please.
I'd like to start the conversation with 12 months.
Okay. Commissioner Althega proposes 12 months.
Sorry, I didn't raise my hand. I'm more comfortable with the 6 months. I think that's, and I've not been in the employee market for a long time, but I feel like 6 months is enough time for the city to pay someone that no longer works for us.
Okay. So we have 12 months and we have a counter proposal of 6 months, which would be in keeping with what it is currently. Becker?
I am, as I stated in the last meeting, fine with 12 months.
So Althega has 12 months, Becker has 12 months. Skilitsky?
As I stated in the last meeting, I think 12 months is something that the city could manage. These are broken into different sections, so I mean, it is an option of the commission to modify each section accordingly. So if we wanted to look at a year for severance pay, 8 months for healthcare, for retirement and pension services, we have that option. I just want to make that a point.
Yes. Does the commission want to do that? Or simply look at it as a set number of months for all regardless? If you're paying, salary, then it would include pension and healthcare. Alternatively, it's the red section in the, your packet.
I think I'd like to just stick to the one motion at a time.
Yeah, okay. So in this case, we're talking about what we have on the very first page, which is the time frame.
I would prefer 9 months, but I'm comfortable with 12
Okay.
for severance.
Okay. Skalitsky says 12 also.
Yes.
You did say 12.
Yes.
Mhm,
I'm sorry, I thought I chimed in.
mhm. Okay. Any additional conversation?
Nine.
I think you've heard from all of us.
Okay. All right, it seems to me that, at least 3 commissioners have 12. I think I was the one who said I would go, I could drag myself to 12. I did say that last time. I was gonna go with 9, but, I am also comfortable with 12 because then it gives, the manager a little bit more time to at least, find a job. You want to have additional conversation about 12 months? So far, it seems to me that there are 4 of us here who are comfortable with 12, one comfortable with 6.
I'm more comfortable with 9 than 12,
Nine.
obviously.
So you and I would have been at 9. I was at 9, and I did say that even, at the previous meeting that, if I have to go, I would just acquiesce and go to 12. So Damareth says 9 and Pershbecker wants 24 months.
I said 12.
12, sorry. Okay, 12. Sorry, I did record 12 here. Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us who seem to be comfortable with 12. It's okay, you don't have to agree with 5.
No.
No,
I just-
absolutely. It's fine. Okay. Any more conversation before we move forward on this, on the time frame, time frame? Okay, so I would like a motion. In fact, I want to make sure whether that addresses the other issues, in the other issues on the red, or perhaps we'll come back to some of those other issues like the deferred compensation and all that. But at least we have resolved the time frame. Are you comfortable with that? If we do need to come back to the discussion of the other elements? Or are you comfortable with applying that time frame to all of this?
I think it should be applied to the rest. Because basically severance is in lieu of him being employed.
Yes.
So we're treating him as if he's still employed, but technically he's not. So it should apply to the other elements.
All right, I am trying to make sure that
Right.
things are clear, all right? So that we get the language, or at least what we're saying correct, we are in agreement on that. So we are agreed that the time frame for severance of pay, if the manager were to be dismissed without cause, would be 12 months. Okay. All right. In this case, I would appreciate a motion for the record.
Didn't I already make a motion for that?
No,
No?
we've been discussing it.
Okay, so I move that we consider the time frame for severance pay as 12 months, and we carry that through for the rest of the contract.
Second.
All right, it's been moved that
Before we have discussion, we need a second, or did we
Yes,
get one?
Rollins
Thank you.
has seconded. The motion is that we consider the time frame or record the time frame for severance of pay upon dismissal without cause as 12 months. And that would be applied to the contract. Clark, you can. Okay, you have the language you need? All right, made by Commissioner Alsager, seconded by Commissioner Rawlings. Now we vote. Roll call, yes, please.
Commissioner Perschebacker,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowlands.
Yes.
Commissioner Skaletsky,
Yes.
Commissioner Alsager,
Yes.
Commissioner Demarath,
No.
Vice Mayor Ege.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, motion has passed. Okay, thank you, commissioners, for your willingness to work on this, with consideration and respect for one another and to look at this in fairness. Okay. So we come to announcement on city-related issues and new business.
Apologies, Vice Mayor. There was the question of the proposed language too. Was that something that the city commission wanted to capture with the 12 months? Because there was the red line language change as well. I just want to make sure that the city commission was good with that.
And that's what I was talking about, that, we could come back to that. So that to allow people, what I've noticed is people are just reading through right now. So
But we did say in the motion that 12 months carries through.
through the contract, yes.
So it would include,
So
But-
that's what I want to make sure. Does that include the proposed sections C, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5? I just want to make sure, was that the city commission's intent?
that's mine.
The benefits. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, and that was the
Yeah.
question I asked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
all
My
right.
apologies for the misclarification on my part. Thank you. And thank you very much to the city commission. I greatly appreciate it. Very happy to continue in this capacity. And, over these past 4 years, I've really fallen in love with this community. And so I just wanted to say again, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, before we put this away, are we okay with getting rid of the sections under that, D and all?
Who's that? You mean the lines that were struck?
Yeah.
Everything will be updated.
Okay.
The red signifies the edited language
Okay.
that's under consideration. And that's the question that I was asking, was whether, this time frame and all of this would take care of all of this.
Okay.
And Rawlinson's comment was, yes, we apply it to everything.
Okay.
Okay. So
We're good.
the clerk or, manager or human resources will then clean up this and
Okay.
move it forward.
Okay.
Okay. Are we okay?
Yeah, I just want to make something real quick in regards to Commissioner Demarath's statement. A lot of this information has been provided in our packets the last couple of meetings.
Yes.
This has been an ongoing process. I understand that this is probably one of the first times you've looked at his contract and everything leading up to it. The biggest change within that section D for the education benefit, the way that it works, it's a rolling 6 months regarding his semester and his credit hours as far as how that is being billed out. So we would only collect up to the last 6 months of credits. So it would be a lot of work for the city to collect if he was dismissed for negligence, misconduct, whatever, on those few credit hours. I'm correct in all of that?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So that is part of the reason why it's not much conversation regarding that. And most of the other language regarding the terms of the severance, the packages that have been included, it is almost standard language for city commissioner or city manager contracts. It's just the length of that term that is really in question for for manager distance
All
contract.
right, thank you. Yes, this is my first time seeing it, so.
Yes.
Commissioner Demerol, so you're not, your question was legitimate because you're just seeing it where it's so much information that you're getting all at once on your very first day. And I want to applaud you for even participating. Thank you. All right. Okay. So we go to the next item, which is announcements on city-related issues and new business. Okay. All right. We'll start with Commissioner Alsega. What have you?
Well, I have two things tonight. The date today, January 26th, happens to be Michigan's birthday. So happy birthday to the state of Michigan.
Yay. No balloons.
Yeah. And then the other thing I saw in the newspaper, but we have the, some monies available from the Chill Grant. And if I'm right about this, the homeowner, you have to be in the city of Mount Pleasant and a homeowner. And you would get a proposal for some kind of fix to your property in the range of 1,000 to 10,000. And it might be granted. So I don't know if those are open yet or soon to be opened.
Currently open. You can pick up applications here at City Hall or find them on the website.
Thank you.
Becca?
I'd just like to remind everyone that unfortunately, this is like the 75th day of winter for January. And it's very cold out. Please make sure that you are not outside for very long. And if you do have to be outside, that you cover yourself adequately. And if you have dogs or cats that are outside, please make sure that they have a space to go in, someplace where they're out of the weather. They can get just as cold as we can outside.
Here. Skaletsky?
I don't have anything to add this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Appreciate that. And I look forward to working with all of you and stay warm out there.
Okay. Rawlings?
I have nothing at this time.
Okay. All right. Tomorrow is the International Day for the Remembrance of Victims of the Holocaust. So it's Holocaust Memorial Day, which is January 27th. It's tomorrow. All right. As part of our peace work, I hope that people will remember that. Director Lauria, yes?
I just wanted to circle back to Commissioner Skalitsky's question on the statistics for the obstruction of justice. The three categories in that are probation violations, failure to appear for court, and contempt of court. So all those are warrants that are issued by the court that are Mount Pleasant PD cases.
Okay.
For those reasons.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. When I see an uptick of that
Yep.
of nearly 20%, I feel like I have to ask that question.
I understand.
Thank you, Director Lauria. Manager Dissents.
Thank you. During our last meeting on goals and objectives, I talked about some fun things that we have coming down the pipeline that I wanted to announce. And finally, we have a press release on this that I'm very
Okay.
happy to discuss. So Mount Pleasant was awarded $2.79 million in a grant to construct a new event, market, pavilion, and commercial kitchen space that is going to be on Island Park. And so we're very excited to announce that. I think that the staff did an absolutely great job. As I said they went after this thing like lions, going after it, and they really pulled it down for us. So we're really excited to announce that. We'll be looking at construction here next year, very likely, but more details to come.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you. All right. Any more? All right, this is it. Public comment on agenda and non-agenda items. All right, this is an opportunity for anybody who wants to make comments. We've got 5 minutes. Anybody on Zoom? All right, okay, we'll close that then. All right, commissioners, Would you like a recess or would you like to continue?
Recess 10 minutes, please.
Okay, recess 10 minutes. I can't see the time from here. 10 minutes from now is
8:40.
Director Moore. 10 minutes from now. 8:48. All right, recess.
Man, slides. I need a stretch.
Wow.
All right, we're on. Okay. We are back on and we have a work session. And it is to prioritize our 2026 work sessions and interests. Okay. Manager Dissents?
So from our 2025 work and some of the conversations that we had, we came up with the list of 5 different work sessions that I know that the City Commission would want to engage in 2026. That includes revisiting the discussion on the 2021 Fire Code, discussion on coming back to the proposed chickens ordinance, a discussion on the Tenant Rights Committee, a discussion on union language in the city's purchase policy. I want to come back to the City Commission with some thoughts on the opioid settlement funding and some of the direction we were given there, just as we've got new information that I think is relevant to that. So we just wanted to understand from the City Commission if there is a priority among these different things that the City Commission would like to set the staff forward on. So for instance, if fire code takes priority over chickens or vice versa.
All right, Commissioner Alsiga, go first.
Well, I would like to have us explore all 5 of these. And I'm suggesting the fire code, since we've already had some education on that. And maybe next the opioid settlement funding, so we can learn more what we need to learn about that. And then we should go to the chickens in case people want to build their enclosures, before summertime. And then the other 2.
Okay.
Union. Yeah.
Manager Dissents, would you like to read out those 5 items again, please?
The 5,
Slowly.
Yep, the 5 items would be the discussion on the 2021 Fire Code, the discussion on the chickens ordinance, discussion on the Tenant Rights Committee, discussion on union language in the purchase policy, and discussion on opioid settlement funding.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Let's, you know what? I'm going to just call people and ask.
I'm
All right. Ordinance.
I'm gonna go with the chickens first,
Yes.
mainly because I think we need to have some language put down before people start going to Home Depot and basically in the cloak of darkness starts building their chicken coops before anybody starts calling code enforcement. So, because things happen. And so, yeah, I think that's the first one we should probably do before March. Fire code should be second. The opioid settlement those are my top 3.
Galitsky.
I would say chickens are my least priority. As far as I know, there's no ordinance to enforce, so if anybody wants to build something, they can go build. We haven't seen any chickens roaming around town.
Yes.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, so I don't see it happening in 2026. I feel like putting the fire code to bed should be a priority, as well as dealing with some of the things I pushed forward, like Tenants Rights Committee and union language.
Fresh Becca.
I would like to, in the top 3 that I have is the fire code, the opiates funding, and the tenants' rights.
Okay. Demarest.
I think fire code is a good place to start.
Mhm.
I like tenants' rights, and I mean, if it should be addressed before the summer, probably chickens.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I would go with the fire code first because we have talked about that. We have had several presentations on that. I think we should just resolve that. I'm interested in the tenants' rights, and the reason is because I've had to investigate several cases dealing with tenants. And then, opioid chickens at the bottom of my list. So, manager dissents. Okay, seems to me, I mean, this doesn't require a vote, but so do we need to have additional conversation? What do you expect of us?
Nope, I think I'm good with this.
Okay.
I will report out once I kind of make heads or tails. I can tell you right off the bat, what I've got here is, fire seems to be at the top. It had the most number one votes. From there, I want to just go through and do a side-by-side ranking, and I will communicate out via, email then as to what the, next order of things would be from there.
Okay, all right. Okay, do you think you might be ready by the next meeting or next month or 2-3 months from now?
I think we will have fire code ready at the next city commission meeting.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, okay. Yes. Commissioner Alsega, go ahead. Make a motion to adjourn.
Lately, we haven't been doing a motion, just
All right.
the acting mayor
okay.
would say.
All right. All right. The meeting is adjourned at, what time is it? Director Moore?
8:55.
8:55 PM. Thank you, everybody.
Yeehaw.
I did my best.
Okay.